Hey, welcome from Australia. My name is Chrissy, and today I just wanted to come on and have a quick update for the 6th of April. Now, for anyone new to my channel, I do channel prediction readings. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification if you're wanting to see when my prediction videos pop up. But I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll just get started today. Now today I'm just getting that energy that the grief is overwhelming. Now I've talked about this with Canada before. The grief is for our old lives, and we are starting to get a lot of this feelings of dread. We're getting scared, we're getting frightened of where our life is headed. Now I understand that because that's how I've been feeling lately. It's very, very frightening when everything is kind of unknown. But what they're saying to me today is that you've got to strengthen yourself and you've got to put new batteries in yourself. So this is like recharging yourself, ready for that next, I guess you could say fight, but ready for that next battle. Because you think about it, when two sides kind of go to war, they fight for a period until things get, everyone's just a big mess, and then they'll retreat for a while and they have their rest period, and they help the wounded, and they kind of re-energize and they recoup that energy again, so they'll have a rest and then they might battle again. But we're in one of these stages where we've backed away, and we're sort of dealing with the wounded and we're having to re-energize ourselves and be ready for that next battle. Because I really believe, I just keep getting it, that April's going to be a big battle. And this is definitely globally, but we've got to make sure we keep our strength up. It's very easy to lose our sort of tenacity and our drive to go forward because it is hard to just keep going and keep going. I know that's something I really struggle with, and I know if you're watching this video that you're probably really struggling with that too. Like, why have we been given this role that we've got to keep pushing back and fighting? But it is our role, and we have to come some sort of acceptance of that. Now I'm thinking of the song When Two Tribes Go to War. So we've got, I think it's by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, something like that. If you look up that song, when two tribes go to war, a point is all that you can score. So what they're saying is it's kind of like point for point. So this is like the pushback again. So they get a point, you get a point. They get a point, you get a point. But what we have to keep in mind is there is an enormous amount under the water, if we think of the iceberg, that we don't know about. Now they're very, very clever at implementing their agenda, as we know, of the New World Order. Now, this is why it's so important that we keep our eyes open and we keep our ear to the ground and listen for any information and things that we're finding out too, because the more that we can share this and spread the messages, it will wake people up. Now, I know it's exhausting. I'm getting it. It's very, very... My sister even said to me the other day, she said, she's vaccinated and boosted, and she said to me, you are consumed by this, like this is taking over your life. And I just kind of, I wanted to say yes, because they're about to take over yours. And I wanted to actually say, look, stop complying, because it's by you guys complying that you're taking everybody's freedoms away, including ours. But I have to refrain because I try not to get into an argument with her. But I can see how, for her looking in, it's like, why are you so consumed by this? Like all this nonsense and fairy tales is how they view conspiracies. But when you know it's real, it's like you can't put your sword and shield down, because you're always like on guard and ready to battle, because you feel like it's your duty to keep pursuing and keep pushing forth. So that's just an example of what like I'm going through. Maybe tell me some of the things that you guys are going through, but I'm definitely getting that. It's that the war, it's almost like the war is getting heightened. It's getting Oh, I would actually say if this does come about in April, that there's a lot more hostility in the battle. Like, we've had a lot of peaceful protests here in Australia, and I know you guys have as well, in Canada, America, Sweden, all these countries. Finland, I know out there, you've battled hard too. There's a lot of countries that, when they do stand up, they're going to be very, very angry and very, very hostile, because can you imagine if you have been forced to take something that now the data is coming out and you weren't given all that data and you've been forced to take it to keep your job and feed your family? And this is the kind of stuff that's going to happen. People have been coerced. Take the jab or you won't be able to fly overseas and visit your relatives. This is what has happened. So people, can you imagine though, bringing a group of like pain bodies together and they're all rising up? Well, this is what could happen. So you've got to also, as peaceful protesters, protect yourself as well from some of these scenes. You don't want to get caught up in that mishmash of their, well, it's kind of drama, but it's also that anger and pain and those feelings that are going to come spewing out of people. You've got to really protect yourself too. So again, you still need your body armor and you need your shield and you need your sword, even to protect yourself from that kind of energy. When people do rise up in their anger, just be ready for that. So that's just like a bit of a warning there, just to maybe remain at the back of the pack. If you are marching or anything comes up like that, just remain at the back of the pack so you can kind of get away quickly, or you can stay detached, because detachment is a big message for today. And don't get drawn into other people's dramas if they're trying to draw you in. Just keep things very simple in your own narrative. Don't get all and trying to tell people everything, because like I said, they switch off. They won't understand. You can bombard people. So just let them wake up at their own pace, because this is their soul journey and they've got to have that soul breakdown. And I believe in April there's a lot of them going to go through their soul breakdown. So be careful. You might even need a helmet on to protect your head as well. Protect all your head, your energy, so you don't get too many incoming vibrations and negative messages coming in from other people. So that's something to really think about in April. I'm definitely getting that it's that grieving process that's coming in a lot of people. Now, I have to admit there are some very, very strange things going on globally. I did talk about the false normal, that they would hit us with a false normal before things change again. Now, here in Australia, we actually have a vote coming, and it was weird yesterday when I played back my video. I think it was yesterday's. I actually said when the Prime Minister changes, when we get the new Prime Minister. And I was like, that's weird. I didn't know that I actually said that. So maybe we are getting a new Prime Minister. I just thought that was pretty funny that came out of my mouth without me even knowing it. So that'll be interesting to see moving forward, like what changes that create. That's in May, so I'll let you know how that goes. I know in some of your countries you're going to the vote as well, and the guides always talk about getting your voting right, even though we know half the time it's rigged. Look at America. I think we pretty much all know what happened there. There seemed to be a bit of... Anyway, I won't comment on that too much. I don't like to go there. So I'll just see what else comes through today. I do feel there's going to be big movements around the plastics. Plastics are really being addressed now. Plastics is a huge, huge problem that is just mounting up, and they have to get this contained. So they're trying to figure out ways that they can use plastic, cut down on plastic, save the environment from plastic. So I'm definitely getting that in the next couple of months, plastics are going to be really addressed in, I think, nearly every country. I think every country's got an issue with plastics. They're just downright dangerous. And unless they're plastics that are going to break down with the environment, they're just too dangerous to just our wildlife, our waterways, and definitely just a wastage in the amount that goes into landfill, and that doesn't break down. So this is what I'm getting. I'm getting a lot around plastics. There's going to be a lot of big movements globally around dealing with plastic, which I think we'd all be happy about that anyway. Now, they're showing me that a lot of things are being shelved at the moment. And this is about infrastructure in our societies. They're shelving a lot of things. It feels to me like they're shelving a lot of the little, small, insignificant businesses. It's very strange. It's almost like businesses such as boats for hire. They're showing me like when people hire things on the waterways or paddling canoes. It's almost like these little businesses are superfluous in their movement going forward. So I believe this is how they're going to do it. They're going to start shelving businesses, but they're going to start in subtle ways. So they're going to actually start to do the things that people won't really notice. So I feel like this is kind of what they're looking at. Like when they're looking at boats for hire or little surf skis or jet skis and things like this, they're going to be using that it's affecting the environment. So they're going to use things like, oh, we can't have that on the shore anymore because that's affecting the erosion. And they're going to kind of try and connect dots to things. And I feel like this is how they're going to start shelving a lot of small businesses. We know that's their agenda, is to get rid of small business anyway. But then, of course, they would come along and they would implement their big corporate or their big company that actually has a zillion boats for hire and all these paddle boats that you can, and they'll have special sections sort of on the beach that is just allocated for them. So this is what they're doing. They're chipping away, and they're going to start small. So they're going to start removing these small businesses. And this is just an example. It could be anything, but that's what I'm kind of getting. Anything that's around that boating industry, paddle boards, that sort of thing. I feel like there could be some movement there. They're going to try and delete them out of the market and then bring big corporate in, because what they want is they want everybody working for these big corporations. So that's how they're going to do it. They're going to have everything sectioned off and then have this big corporate come in, and they'll have all their paddle boats lined up and their little dinghies for hire or whatever. And this is how it's going to go, because they want to take the majority of businesses. They want the conglomerate sort of thing. This is how they work. They want to dominate and have power in every single avenue. And that says a lot. If they're looking at these little boat for hire places and things like that, that's pretty crazy. So this is what they're looking at now. They're wanting to shelve a lot of small businesses, definitely. And if you think of the little beautiful quirky cafe down the road, that could be like the next layer of that's going to get shelved, where you've got that beautiful cafe that you go to regularly for your little breakfast or something, or that all those little cute spaces are going to kind of be gobbled up by corporate again, and they're just going to pop up their corporate coffee shops everywhere, not necessarily Starbucks, but that's kind of the example. They're going to just pop up their things, and they want you working for them, and they want an all production line, and this is kind of what they're working on now. This is about shelving small business, and this is in all countries. This isn't just here in Australia. And I'll tell you what, they're done quite well so far at wiping out small business, I have to say. And I know that's probably happened where you're living over there. It doesn't matter where you're living, it's probably happened as well. Small business has been the one that's really just struggled through this whole process. We've actually got a business ourselves, and it's a battery business, and fortunately that's a necessary sort of item. It's a need that people can't cope without. So fortunately for us, we managed to keep open as an essential service and keep busy. So we're one of the very, very lucky few, and we did not take that for granted at all. But we nearly got bought out as well by a big company a few weeks ago, but there was a few things in it that we just questioned, and so we decided no, being in a country town, we'll just keep our small business and try and hang on as long as we can. But who knows where that's going to head. So, yeah, this is the kind of thing they're looking at, shelving a lot of small businesses and saying, well, we're going to shelve you, but you can come and work for us in our big corporate business, and we'll control all the money. And again, this is how they get the credit system and the digital platforms up, because they control everything that you do. You're no longer going to be able to sort of have your little bit of cashies or whatever you might be doing in your small business. Those days are gone, because everything is going to be digital. So these are the things you have to look at for anyone out there who's, you know, looking to what they're going to do in the future. This is what they're already starting to implement now. Oh, I wish everyone would just wake up and see it, don't you? I'm sure you guys do out there. It's very frustrating, isn't it, sometimes? We have our days, don't we, where we go up and down and we feel like, oh, we've got this really strong, and then we have other days where we're like, oh my gosh, please, everybody wake up and see this. Take your rose-coloured glasses off. Hurry up. I'll see what else comes up today. Now, for some reason, I'm getting the number 5. I don't know what that is. This 5 is going to be, like, significant to the, like, New World Order. I feel like there's going to be, like, some sort of saying or quote, you'll own nothing and be happy. Maybe that's it. You'll own nothing and be happy. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is, but there's going to be, like, 5 points that they're going to just keep pushing and pushing, and we'll probably figure that out pretty soon. Maybe that is it. Oh, God. I don't see how that's going to work. You'll own nothing and be happy. Oh, that's weird. We've all worked so hard to get the things that we do own. I can't imagine that people are going to be very happy about that. But I am getting like there's going to be 5 really distinct divisions to the future going forward. Like, it could even be, you know, that this is about the system, like whether that be about the digital currency, whether that be about your credit score, whether it be about who you connect with in society, like your social status. These could be the kind of things that they're going to have a 5-point kind of system where you've got to pass like all these points to achieve things. So it could be something around that. I feel like, and that could be getting set up at the moment. But I do get there's like a 5-point system of, it's like of approval. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. But we'll just see what comes with that. I mean, nothing that I say is locked in stone. We know that. I do my videos pretty much every day because things change just like that. And things start to come out and then things unfold. So that's why I do get on and touch base a lot, because I do feel a lot of changes sometimes. But this is where that social credit scoring is going to start to roll out and be implemented. And I don't feel that's very far away. I feel that's definitely starting to be looked at on a very, very global scale. I'll just see what else we get today. And I'm really getting that people are engineering their lives. So when you think of engineering, it's like people are restructuring their lives. Now, this could be about a lot of you guys who are watching my channel. We are restructuring our lives. I'm sure other people are as well. When you're told there's going to be food shortages and all this kind of thing, people are looking at how they're going to restructure their lives. Because engineering isn't so much to me about design. It can be. But to me, the engineering part is about the putting together and how is this all going to fit. So when you think of someone with that engineering mind, they have a great way of forming and putting things together with precision detail. And I feel like that's what a lot of us are starting to do now. We're looking at our lives and we're starting to put this together with precision detail. I want my life to be like this. But if I want to grow vegetables, I need to set my yard up properly for that. This is the kind of thing. If I'm going to be independent, I need to get solar and get myself off grid. These are what I'm saying about the engineering. It's people are looking at their future and how they're going to navigate it now. And I really do believe that's a lot around you guys watching this video. You're starting to engineer your life and getting it into a structured sort of format. And I'm not saying that you're not wanting your freedom and that sort of thing. That's not what this is about. This is about that restructuring of our values, our morals, restructuring the way that we think, restructuring definitely what we will tolerate from people in our lives. We know that. We've managed to kind of just push those things aside now. And again, maybe this is about building, I said yesterday, that truth tower. We're also building that with our engineering and our thoughts. So this is the kind of thing that we're looking at now. Is, I know it sounds a bit complicated, but we are starting to be the engineer of our lives. And because we've had to learn to detach, and we've had to learn to get more logical, definitely more logical, because as much as we need to stay in our spiritual and emotional state, we also have to pull in our logical mind and rebuild our lives around what is currently transpiring. Because if we don't have a plan, then we could really be left. And I think we're all aware of that this battle is still going on, and it's only point for point, like in that song, when two tribes go to war, a point is all that you can score. I'm sure that's the words, by Frankie. I'm sure it's Frankie Goes to Hollywood. And that's what I'm getting, is this battle still going on. It's not over yet, but we have to also look at ways to improve our life in that battle. And that's why you got to go and have that rest period and drag the worn out soldiers and the people who are getting damaged off the field and let them recuperate. So this is what it's kind of the message today, is start to engineer your life, because we already know, as I said in the beginning of this video, the grief has been overwhelming for our old lives, but we have to let that go. We're in a new tribe now, and that's why it's so important that we start to look and engineer our new life. And look, I'm going to leave you with that today, because I think it's something that we have been doing anyway over the course of the 2 years. We've been building and restructuring our own life. So look, please take care, stay strong. I know the grief and the sadness of losing our freedoms and things can be really hard, and it's sometimes so hard to get that fight back. But maybe go and check out that song today, When Two Tribes Go to War. I think that's probably worth looking up, because it might just give you that little bit of inspiration. So look, stay strong. Thanks heaps for watching. Hit those like buttons. Like I said, subscribe. Take care, everybody out there. I know this is pretty exhausting. Keep your shield up. Protect yourself in April, and I will see you in that next video. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.